Hey guys, there was a arrest the other night of somebody walking up the street by a deputy here in Yucaipa, and I'm going to go through some things here with you to kind of I don't know if this is an education or if it's just a blog or what it's going to be. I'm just going to talk to y'all. But I'm getting a lot of criticism. People are saying that cop was right, you were wrong, you should have just backed up. I'm going to tell you why you should not always just back up when the cops ask you to. I'm going to go through why you should stand your ground, why you should hold to your constitutional rights. Now, some people say, your constitutional rights. Yeah, it's my constitutional right. I'm going to explain to you why it's not always correct to obey a law enforcement officer, because law enforcement officers aren't always correct. Now, what does a law enforcement officer do? They enforce laws that are being broken. If a law is being broken, they stop and they enforce that law. These so-called ped checks, where they see someone walking up the street and they suspect this guy's got drugs or other contraband. And it may be somebody that they've arrested before who had drugs or contraband. It may be somebody that is or is not on probation or parole. And if I understand that if they're on probation or parole, there's certain conditions of their probation or parole that they don't have a Fourth Amendment civil right or they don't have rights. I get that. But what about the ones who aren't on probation or parole that are still stopped? They still check their bags. I've spoken to some of the homeless out here that get checked, these ped checks. I've spoken to them and I've had some of them say to me, I'm not even on probation or parole. He just stopped me and asked, did I have anything in my bag, and then searched. Because what they're doing is, trying to catch a fish. That's what they're trying to do. I'm going to show you how I know that by a couple of the questions that this deputy asked. Now, I looked up the call, and I believe it is the 11377 arrest that he made, which is for unlawful prescription or controlled substance. So the guy got arrested for possession of controlled substance. But I'm going to go through why what I did was correct in standing up for both the Constitution and the rights of Americans to freely travel. Because as far as I know, it's not illegal to walk up the sidewalk, but the cops will still stop them and say, come here, I need to talk to you. Let me just go through this. I'm going to give you snippets, and I'm going to cut in between each snippet and explain. This is not a criticism of this specific deputy. This is not a criticism. It's a criticism of the actions. Because he's not the only cop that has done this. But he does need to be retrained on public service and dealing with the community. And he does need to be retrained on the rights of citizens. And that's not a knock on that individual. That just means that professionally there needs to be some training in the department that needs to go on. Let's go on with it. I'll show you what I'm talking about. He asked, do you have anything on you I should know of? Okay, so he asks here, do you have anything on you that I should know of? He doesn't know if this guy's got anything or not. Now, later he's going to get upset at me, telling me get out of his scene because the guy dropped something over there. He could have dropped something, some evidence. If that were the case, wouldn't he have told him, stand right here, don't move, walk over there with his flashlight, look around, and see if he dropped anything, and then walk back and say, you dropped this, right? Or this is yours, is this yours, whatever, right? He would have done that. But he doesn't know if the guy even has anything. So he asks, do you have anything on you I should know of? Now, people out there that these cops stop on these ped checks, they get scared because they don't know their rights. They don't know that they can tell the officer, look, you know what? I was just walking up the street. You can go away. So they get scared, so they start handing stuff over. I used to do that, hand over my ID, and then I learned, oh, I don't have to unless I'm committing a crime or have committed a crime. for right now, this guy hasn't committed a crime. He's just walking up the street. I know some people are going to go, yeah, but he was arrested for HNS 11377, which is controlled substance. The cop doesn't know that at this point, or he would have said, give me what you got right now. I know you got something on you. No, he says, do you have anything on you I should know of? That's kind of a fishing question. Do you have any drugs on you? Because I'm going to look. And people get scared and they go, yeah. As you'll see, this guy just hands it over. But he doesn't know at this point. And if he suspected the guy dropped something, wouldn't he walked over there right away to look for it? No, because he just stopped this guy to question him. Now, some may question my expertise on this. I've been studying, researching, and observing law enforcement officers since 1989, 88, thereabouts. I've been watching law enforcement very closely. U.S. Marshals, FBI, sheriffs, deputies, police officers. I've been watching them all those years from 1988, 89-ish to now. Just all the time, watching, observing, listening, only because I really, really wanted to be a cop at one point. I went to a police academy in Texas. I went to the PC 832 Powers of Arrest here in California, graduated from both. I was a level 1 I was certified, I should say, level 1 peace officer in Texas. Due to family issues, I had to move back to California to be near my mother. That went to pot. And then I decided just not to be a cop because cops are assholes out here. But I'm not just some naive guy that thinks he knows about law enforcement. I have been watching these guys and observing and researching and studying. And I have an expert education on law enforcement, how they their attitudes and how they think and what they're thinking when they ask somebody something. And I'm a little bit of an expert. Let's move on, guys. You on probation? The guy just handed him something. What the fuck is that? All right, so he asks him then, are you on probation? He doesn't know if the guy's on probation or parole. As far as he knows, he stopped a guy that could just be some law-abiding citizen walking up the street. He's going to do a ped check because I guess cops here are allowed to do ped checks. I'm out on a ped check. Come here, you. You got anything I should know about? You on probation or parole? Huh? Give me your bag. Go over there. I'm going to look through this. That's what they do. And it is a violation of the Fourth Amendment to be secure in your persons and property. Now, if they're on probation or parole, I understand that there's no, rights under probation or parole. The conditions of a lot of those probations, and especially parole, is that you'll be searched. But is every homeless person here on probation or parole? Is every guy that's been arrested before on probation or parole? Like nobody just has a fine and then you're done and then now you're again a law-abiding citizen? I understand that there are people that do drugs that are arrested for HNS 11377, controlled substance. I understand that they use these drugs over and over and over, but at the point, let's say somebody was arrested 6 times for misdemeanor drug possession, and he just happens to be walking up the street and he gets stopped and the cops arrest him again, and you go, well, he got another shit bag off the street. No, they stopped the guy who was already tried and convicted for his stuff. At this point, he's just freely walking up the street in the United States of America, and he's stopped, and it just happens that the hunch paid off, and now he gets arrested and taken to jail because the hunch paid off. Some of you go, yeah, you calling it a hunch. It is a hunch because I've seen and I've recorded deputies who have let people go because they found nothing, and they said, okay, get your shit and go. Get your stuff and go. You're not going to hang out in front of this business. Go. I've recorded them doing that. That car wash on 3rd Street, twice. People got searched twice. You can go. Get out of here. Well, if the hunch paid off, they would have got arrested, right? If they had something. But they didn't. It's just this time the hunch paid off. Now, this isn't a knock on any particular law enforcement officer or any particular deputy or any particular department. This is a nationwide problem with law enforcement violating people's civil rights. And they need to be recorded doing it, but they don't like to be recorded. Now, this officer looked back. He saw me standing there filming, but he didn't say, hey, that guy could have dropped stuff there. Can you back up for me? He doesn't say anything at this point yet. And I'm going to explain why after this next clip or two. The guy just handed him something. He goes, you have anything I should know of?
Hey, do me a favor and back up.
All right, now you guys seen how far away I was, right? I was standing at a fire hydrant right at the border of the next business over. So he's in front of, I believe it was Rosie's Burritos or Rosie Jr., whatever they call it, burritos. A little Mexican restaurant there. Then they have Walgreens. So people hate me saying Walgreens. They don't like my accent. Walgreens next door. I was standing right at the border of Walgreens and that. So I was all the way on the other side of the business from where he was. And he doesn't say anything about there's evidence there. He says, hey, can you back up and give me some room? What he wants is for me to back up so I can't record him searching this guy. He's getting ready to search this guy. He's getting ready to go through his stuff, go through the bag. He doesn't want me recording any video or especially audio. He probably heard me say, when I say into Mike, he asked if the guy, anything you should know of. He probably heard me say that and knew that I was repeating what he said. He doesn't want me hearing him asking this guy civil rights violating questions. Doesn't want me recording him. That's why he said, back up. No, what happens is we need to document these law enforcement interactions. We need to document them because if the law enforcement officers refuse to wear body cameras, our department doesn't want to pay, our city doesn't want to pay money for body cameras. Therefore, it's whatever the cop said. No, our cameras could tell the truth. Our recording, our video recording and audio recording could be the difference between a truth and a lie. That's why we record law enforcement interactions. He wants me to back up because he doesn't want me recording what he's about to do. He's about to violate this guy's rights. He doesn't want it recorded. That's why he wants me to back up. I was about 50 feet away, and that's being conservative. I probably was farther than that. Let's move on. I'm 50 feet. Do your fucking job. I'm 50 feet away. What are you doing? Look at this.
Back up away from my scene. Now.
Look at this. Bain Act violation. Bain Act violation. Bain Act violation. Okay, so at that point, he gets all upset because I'm trying to explain. I'm 50 feet away. His scene is that police car where he's searching them. I'm not even near the police car. I'm way over by this fire hydrant. But he says, get out of my scene. And he starts screaming that I'm impeding his investigation. You can't hear it because I was screaming. But then he says he could have dropped something. He dropped something on the ground. Or he may have said he could have dropped something on the ground. But he said something about drop something on the ground right there. Well, then why didn't he check right away? He didn't know. He's making it up now because that's his excuse because he wants me away. He doesn't want me recording what he's doing. Some people say, why didn't you just back up? Because he needs to be documented searching this guy. You know, we put so much trust in law enforcement officers. They're just doing their job and they do the right thing. Then why do I do editorials every single day on cops that have lied, planted, sell stuff, steal money out of people's homes? Every day I do an editorial on a cop that has broken the law or violated policy. But people get so upset and so irate that we're out there recording the police. But when your rights get violated, now what? You know, it was like the one guy, the cop was talking nice to him. He goes, hey, man, come on, he's just doing his job. Then the cop arrested him, and then he started cussing the cop out. I think that was either San Bernardino or Hemet. I don't remember. It's one of my videos from yonder. But, you know, the guy started getting mad at the cop. I said, yeah, he's your friend, right? The guy said, what are you arresting me for? I didn't do anything. And I said, yeah, that's why I'm recording the cop. But a minute ago, the cop was his friend, and he was his buddy. He's just doing his job. Now, all of a sudden, the cop's a tyrant, and the guy is screaming at the cop and cussing him out. But a minute ago, he was your friend. That's one of my older videos. But that's why we record the police. And people get so mad until your rights get violated. Now, all of a sudden, you want it recorded. I've actually had people thank me. I've actually had people say, thank you for being there. Thank you so much for being there. Yeah, I'm doing a service to the community. And cops that are doing the right thing shouldn't be upset. Cops get mad because they know that what they're doing is borderline wrong and they don't want it recorded. That's why. And later this other cop came up there and he went with his flash. You couldn't barely see it because I had to recharge my phone. But he was going around with his flashlight looking for the drugs the guy dropped, and he didn't find anything. They didn't find anything. I don't know how they wrote the report up, but he didn't find anything. He walked back over him and he shook his head like that. And then they was like, did some stuff on the hood, and they took them both to jail. The reason for this video here is just to explain to everybody that, look, you have a constitutional right to record the police. Now, people are saying, why didn't you just back up? Because I was not breaking the law. Penal Code 148A. I was not resisting because there was no reason to detain me. I wasn't breaking the law. So how could I be resisting? I wasn't obstructing. I was well over 50 feet away. He was searching. The guy. How much room do you need to search a guy's pockets and search a guy's backpack? I wasn't delaying because I was just standing there. The cop, he engaged me. I was just standing there talking into my microphone. So I wasn't obstructing, resisting, nor delaying. I was not violating 148A. I was not violating any other laws. I was not breaking any laws. I was doing a constitutionally protected activity. He violated 148G, which means that, or which says that video recording and photography alone cannot be deemed a suspicious activity. But he made it suspicious. He made it a crime for me to be recording by making up well, he could have dropped something there. Well, he didn't drop something there 5 minutes ago when you were standing there asking him, did he have anything you should know of? Is he on probation? You looked right at me twice. You didn't say, hey, he could have dropped something there. Can you move over there because I'm going to be looking right there? That's twice that you've done that. Because you don't have public communication skills. You lack public communication skills. I probably need to work on it too, but you don't see me engaging you in a negative manner until it's always, what's the word I'm looking for? I give what I get. If you'd be polite to people, you get more bees with honey than vinegar. But some cops don't know that. But that's not the issue. The issue is upset because he was being recorded. I recorded him on a traffic stop. I recorded him on the shoplifting. Not because I was following him. I just happened to be on the boulevard, and he happened to be one of the cops that was working the boulevard that night. There's been other cops that have worked the boulevard. Wedge has worked the boulevard. Miller's worked the boulevard. Swanson's worked the boulevard. I record all of them. But this guy has an attitude because he has been caught not telling the truth. Oh, I recorded it. And caught checking people out when they weren't just walking up the street. The one guy I recorded, it's in one of my videos. He got pulled over on a traffic stop. He told me, the deputy told me my license or my registration came back expired. We looked at his plates and it said May of 2020. Well, hold on. Right now, it's only February. This was back in like November or October of last year. He said, yeah, he told me my registration was expired. That's why he pulled me over, because he said in the computer it's coming back expired. So he thought I had fake sticker. He didn't, though. By the way, when the cop ran everything, it was his car, it was his license plate, it was his registration. May 2020. That thing didn't come back expired. That wasn't a fake sticker. Come on now. What, are we stupid? Do I got stupid written on my forehead? If not, I'll write it, and then you guys could go, yeah, it's right there. Community Leo Watch, thank you guys for watching. Just a little bit of education here. If you're not breaking the law, if you're not obstructing, if you're not impeding, resisting, nor delaying, cops have no right to yell at you. If they want a scene, they need to tape it off. Or they need to explain, not just say back up. Back up, that's not a lawful command when I'm not breaking the law. Saying back up, that's not a lawful command. Okay? Because right now, you're enforcing the law on somebody that's not breaking the law. I wasn't violating 148A. But he violated the Bain Act. He used intimidation and threat of arrest to keep me from enjoying my constitutionally protected activity. That's a violation of the Bain Act, the Civil Rights Act in California. Thank you guys for watching Community Leo Watch. Remember, I'm not out here for cops. I'm out here for the community.